Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for clicking on another video. Today, let's talk about a subject that I've touched on a little bit, and a lot of the gameplay, almost all of the gameplay that you do see when you're listening to these videos is me playing zombies from Cold War. Now, I want to give my sort of honest opinion on this game type and stuff like that, and like what it's done for Cold War, because I've said in countless videos that the only reason that I do play Cold War nowadays is literally just to play zombies, whether it's playing with friends for getting clips and stuff like that. That's the only reason I play Cold War anymore. Like I say, I played multiplayer a little bit with my friends last week and stuff like that, and what I did have fun playing it and stuff like that, because I was messing around with like the new guns and stuff like that. That was cool. But it's not something I can see myself doing like every day. I don't want to play multiplayer every day, but I can play zombies every day. And I just want to go through and talk about like the good parts and the bad parts of zombies and stuff like that this year. For me, one of the things that they haven't done enough of is, well, it's to do with the maps and stuff like that. You think we had D Machine for so long, then they dropped Firebase Z. Then they dropped Outbreak, which was meant to be this big, expansive world that you wanted to keep coming back to and play and play and play. They've dropped 7 individual areas for it, and then they've now recently released Mauer de Toten, and there is talk on the fact that there is a 4th and final round-based map coming, I think, within the next month or so. So we are going to get the 4th and final map. Technically, Outbreak being a map like that in itself, but I don't understand why they've put so much effort into Outbreak rather than the round-based modes, because while Outbreak is fun, it's such a long game type to do, because if you go and do all 4 challenges and loot and like level up and stuff like that, you could be on level 1 for an hour, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. And you add the fact that the amount of Easter eggs that they've got in there as well, it's kind of excessive when you think of the fact that with D Machine and Firebase Z and Mauer de Toten, that's literally all you get and stuff like that with the round-based modes. And they are fun maps, don't get me wrong, but they could have done so much more. And would zombies be in a better place if they'd have scrapped Outbreak and put in something different? Maybe. You know, the Easter eggs are fun on Outbreak. They're challenging, but they're fun. And the overall exploration is really good as well, but it does get very, very repetitive. And don't get me wrong, like Outbreak with friends is fine. I will never do it solo because I just don't have time to sit there and play it and stuff like that. But I just think they have let it down so much in the map department this year. The fact that we are now officially pretty much like 3 months away or 2 and a bit months away from Vanguard coming out, and we are going to get COD Zombies and stuff like that, and it's going to be made by Treyarch, and it's going to follow the Dark Ether storyline. You know, I've teased I think the 4th and final round-based map is going to have something to do with time travel with the Dark Ether guys and stuff like that, and we're going to go back in time and see the true meanings and the origins and stuff like that. That's what I think will happen, and how it will lead into Vanguard. But I do think that they've wasted a lot of time making, you know, Outbreak as a map and trying to get it into people's circulation. They want people to play it, and unfortunately it really isn't something you can just jump on and play. Like, I couldn't jump on and play Outbreak and stuff like that to get clips, because I will literally be there for 2.5 hours and stuff like that. It just wouldn't be worth it. Whereas I can jump on Mauer or Firebase Z or D Machine and get a clip, done, finished like that. You've got, I'm just checking here as well, you've got 4 different Dead Ops arcade modes, which is just they've got more Dead Ops maps or Dead Ops modes than there are maps. You've got Dead Ops Arcade First Person Solo, Dead Ops Arcade First Person Solo Advanced Start, Dead Ops Arcade Solo, and Dead Ops Arcade Solo Advanced Start. Now look, I have played Dead Ops Arcade. It's a lot of fun, right? It's fun just to dick around and everything in it, but do we really need 4 different variants of the same map? Not really. The first person mode is really, really good, but we don't need 4 different like game modes for it. And the one thing they did as well is they released Cranked 2, I think, just after Christmas, and they've kept it in the rotation. And the gameplay that you're watching is me playing Cranked and stuff like that. And do you know what? I've never truly try-harded in Cranked until literally making this video and stuff like that to get the clip for this video. It's actually a lot of fun. You know, it's frustrating, but it's a lot of fun. And stuff like that, like little fun game modes with zombies, yeah, that's fine. You know, we like that and stuff like that. But I do think on that basis they have wasted it this year, you know. Like, I open Solo and I look at it and I see, oh, there's 9 different things. But the majority of them is like, it's one map, you know. There isn't a real selection. And don't get me wrong, I know the fact that most games have this and stuff. Like, you think of Black Ops 3, like, you had the Giant, you had Shadows of Evil just to start it off, you then had Der Eisendrache, you then had Zetsubo Nishima, you then had Grodkrovi, and it ended with Revelations. And after about a year and stuff like that, then they dropped Zombie Chronicles. And I've said this in the past, I think a Zombie Chronicles for this game would revitalise it, but I think they will probably end up doing a Zombie Chronicles. If they do, they will probably end up putting it into Vanguard. And while I don't think that's a bad thing, I think that it would do so much better for Cold War to have people play a form of that. And if Vanguard wasn't going to have zombies at all, then I do think that they would have a Zombie Chronicles game type or maps and everything ready for next year and stuff like that, for Cold War and stuff like that, because the overall perception of Cold War zombies that I see from the community and stuff like that is very positive. You know, they've changed quite a lot, but the core aspect of it is still the same. I think a lot of people have gotten used to the currency system now with the essence rather than point whoring and everything. The perk thing with the prices, maybe that could change. I don't know. I've gotten used to it and stuff like that. But I know there's a few people out there that are still, it's kind of a sticking point with them. But I think adding the armour to it as well, that's really good. The levelling up of your guns, the triple pack-a-punching rather than just one pack-a-punch, the field upgrades, everything, it does seem like it's gone down really, really well. And Cold War has made it easier for people to get to high rounds and stuff like that. And while people think that's a bad thing and everything, it's really not, because if you were just playing zombies for the first time and you put Cold War in and this was your first zombie experience, that's brilliant, because then you can go back and play the older games. You can go back to you maybe not want to go back to World at War, maybe if you wanted a bit of a scare factor and stuff like that while trying to play Verrückt, but if you wanted to go play Kino der Toten, if you wanted to go play 5, you know, if you then wanted to go, if you wanted to play Shadows of Evil, for example, or any of the Black Ops 3 maps, or any of the Black Ops 2 maps, and see the difficulty factor and everything in it, you know, that's a really good bridge to make and stuff like that. And that's what I think that Cold War has done really, really well with zombies, that they have made it like immersive and stuff like that. So the fact that if you are a new player, look, it might be quite easy for the regulars that have played it for a very long time, but, you know, it's so much more fun to do and everything. You know, the bosses are, while some of them are quite annoying, i.e. the Mimic, they've got their own challenges to them. You know, they brought back the Mangler, made it probably too easy to kill and stuff like that when you know how to kill it and stuff like that. When that thing first appeared, and I think it was Grodkrovi and stuff like that, people were terrified of it. You know, how do you kill that thing and stuff like that? They've made it quite easy to kill. I think the Tempests were, you know, a decent sort of spin-off of I can't remember the name of the he first obviously appears in Transit and stuff like that. Obviously the electric dude and stuff like that, I really can't remember his name, but the Tempests are an alright enemy type and everything. Obviously they brought back the Panzer, obviously, as the Krasny Soldat. They're a really good addition as well. So, and even having the the Disciples in Mauer der Toten and stuff like that, again, that's another cool difficulty factor and stuff. So I think with things like that, they've definitely made the game good. And in regards to the maps as well, I don't think the maps are bad. I think they are pretty good. D Machine is very simple. You know, it took the aspect of Nacht der Untoten and made it bigger and more immersive, and like, look, this is everything that it wasn't. Obviously it's not the same map, everyone knows that. The core in a bit is, but everything outside of it isn't and stuff like that. That's fine. With Firebase, it was obviously a completely brand new map and everything. The idea of having a teleportation system was pretty cool. You got 2 areas where you can mess around, and you can either do it at the air bit and stuff like that when you go through the other side of teleport, or you can do it in spawn. And Mauer, they really went above and beyond to make this map look unreal and stuff like that. You know, the night to day and stuff like, kind of like Ascension and stuff like that. the turrets and stuff like that. I think Mauer is probably the better of the three maps, in my honest opinion. But like I said, they could have done so much more with it. But one thing that I do like that they have done everything is the skills with it. You look at the weapon classes, you've got every single weapon class in the game, you've got the tiers for it and stuff like that, and each thing does something different, for the gun and stuff like that. And whether or not you feel it, I personally doesn't look like I can feel it in the game. The only one I really feel is the melee thing when you replace the gun butt with a Bowie knife. Where tier 5 is melee damage heals you a small amount, I don't see that, but that's just me because I'm not paying attention to that. Do you know what I mean? But that's really cool, the fact that you can make the guns even stronger and stuff like that. The field upgrades as well are all pretty good, to be fair. They've all got their positives and stuff. Frost Blast, when we look at the first 5 that we had Frost Blast, Energy Mine, Ether Shroud, Healing Aura and Ring of Fire. All 5 serve a purpose even now and stuff like that. If you're a team player, you run with Healing Aura and stuff like that. Or even Ether Shroud as well, because if you can get into that and then save someone, perfect. If you're a trainer and everything, you can use Frost Blast or Energy Mine. And if you're one to haul all the zombies up and everything and work as a team, you can use Ring of Fire. With Frenzied Guard, it's still a weird field upgrade. It's not a personal favourite of mine. But obviously using the challenge for it for, I think, one of the melee weapons and stuff like that was alright. But I think Frenzy Guard is definitely the weakest of them all. Toxic Growth is definitely top tier. It's a really, really effective field upgrade. One of the best ones they have put in. And then Tesla Storm, the most recent one, is, as you'll see by the gameplay and stuff like that, it is my favourite to use. I think of the 10 classes, I think it's on about 9 of them. It really is. I know I don't have to have it on there because you can swap out in-game, but I love this thing and stuff. It's so useful. If you get access, I trap myself in a corner quite a lot. It's perfect at tier 5 and stuff like that, and just generating that food. You can get out of so many tight spots with it. The perks as well, we brought back Jug, we brought back Speed Cola, Quick Revive and Stamina Up from the very beginning. They then reintroduced Deadshot, Tombstone and Mule Kick, and we've had 2 brand new perks in Elemental Pop and Death Perception. Jug was always going to come back, Speed Cola was always going to come back, and Quick Revive was always going to come back. We didn't need a double tap as much as I do want a double tap. It doesn't really make difference when you can just add a fire rate to a gun to make it as it is. Stamina Up is proven to be a really, really good perk. Elemental Pop, I think, is an underrated perk, especially when you get it to tier 5, and it basically is Electric Cherry as well to help as well. Deadshot is a really underrated perk as well when you realise just how easy, especially on controller and stuff. Maybe not for PC, but for controller, Deadshot is perfect and stuff like that. Tombstone is one of the biggest wastes for me. It doesn't feel like it works, especially at tier 5 where it says prevent perk decay while down. Tombstone solo is always lost when down. But when obviously you do revive yourself with Tombstone, you still lose every perk. So obviously the perk decay doesn't make a difference because no matter what, you're still going to lose your perks. So I don't think Tombstone was one they needed to bring in. Mule Kick's quite a cool one, to be fair. It was a weird one when they did want to bring it back and stuff like that and said, yeah, this is Mule Kick, because all Mule Kick has ever been is just 3 guns, So I think they've done really well with the tiers on it. And Death Perception for me is such a really strong perk and stuff like that. Like, if you're playing on Outbreak and stuff like that, Death Perception tier 5, where it highlights the chests and everything through the walls, is perfect. The gaining 20% more salvage and high grade salvage, brilliant. The enemies given danger indicators, I expected it to be a flash, but I can understand why they didn't, for potential like epilepsy type warnings and stuff like that. The arrows are a bit dim. I know you could probably make them darker and stuff like that to make them more vibrant, but yeah, I think Death Perception is a really good perk that they have introduced into it. And then with the 5 ammo mods, we haven't had an ammo mod since Shatter Blast was released and stuff like that. And maybe they do one more when they drop the next gun, the next map and everything. I don't know. But Napalm Burst is a really weak one in my opinion. It's definitely the worst of the 5. The way I honestly would tier them is Napalm Burst would be 5th. I would go Brain Rot as 4th. I would go Dead Wire Now as 3. Cryo Freeze 2 and Shatter Blast 1, but that's just personally me for it. I mainly use Cryo Freeze anyway because it is so useful, especially with a big horde, but Shatter Blast for me is just such a fun ammo mod for the game and stuff like that. And the fact that with zombies as well, because they knew how popular zombies is, they made their own tier systems of it. You know, the leveling up in Cold War and everything is really good. The fact that you can level up in zombies and stuff like that. It doesn't really do a lot for your skill-based matchmaking in multiplayer, but I digress on that. I know you level up slower, but it doesn't feel it, you know? Like, I can pick on any gun in the entire game and stuff like that, and I can put zombie camos on it and stuff like that to grind for that, to get all the way up to Dark Ether. You know, all the new guns that they do bring out throughout the season and stuff. Obviously, at the moment, we've got the Kane and the Marshals and stuff like that. You can unlock them in zombies as well by doing pretty ridiculous zombie challenges, I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at the OTS 9 now, and I don't think I'm ever going to unlock this in zombies. I'll probably end up having to do this in multiplayer like I did with the Marshal. But I mean, using an SMG, kill 50 Tempests within 2 seconds of them reappearing after teleporting. I've done it twice. I'm not going to grind to get this gun and everything because that's just ridiculous. But all the guns that I have maxed out and everything, I've maxed out in zombies. I've got them to Plague Diamond, and I'm closing in at some point. I'll try and get Dark Ether, hopefully before the season ends and before the game is dead. Well, dead and buried when Vanguard comes out. But I do love that they've given people, because people don't always want to play multiplayer to get guns and everything. People want to play zombies and stuff. And while it might feel like a cop out and stuff like that, who cares? Like, I would rather run around a spawn for an hour playing zombies than go into multiplayer and try and earn the gun that way. It might be easier in regular zombie, like multiplayer, but that doesn't bother me. Like, I'd rather run around and piss about and stuff like that and get it, because it's just so much more fun. And even with all the melee weapons, I've got all of them at the moment bar the Cane, and I will eventually get the Cane because I'm 11 out of 50 on the consecutive hits without getting hit, so I'll eventually get that as well. I think overall, if I had to sum up zombies for Cold War, I would say it has definitely been good. For everything that's good, there is equally things that are bad, in my opinion. You know, for all the good that the new points things are with the new perks and stuff like that, you could say that the maps are very lacking and stuff like that in terms of quality and depth and stuff like that. People say it's too easy with the fact that everything's highlighted. I don't think that's the case. They are definitely appealing to the audience and stuff like that. And even with the fact that you can craft kill streaks, you can craft tactical equipment, lethal equipment in game and stuff like that. That's really useful as well. It helps you get to higher rounds and stuff like that. You know, then you look at the lack of, especially when you get to certain levels and stuff. I mean, like once you hit level 50 and super sprinters come out, you know, you've really got to turn your head on and stuff like that. But that's all well and good for me. I would think Cold War definitely isn't the best zombie experience of the zombie franchise and stuff like that. It's definitely up there, but it's definitely not like one of the better ones and stuff like that. But that's not to say that Cold War is bad. Cold War Zombies is fun. I just wish that they had spent a little bit more time on it and stuff like that, and given the community what they want. You know, they appealed so much to the multiplayer fan base that definitely dropped off months and months and months ago, but they left the zombie community high and dry and stuff like that. Yes, the Zombies gets its own trailers, gets its own like updates and stuff like that. That's fine, but Zombies has definitely been caught lacking this year. And I think what they could have done with I don't think people would have minded if they had a map every 2 or 3 months and stuff like that. You know, I think if they'd have dropped, I mean, what are we in now? We're in August now. If they'd have dropped 3 maps this year, maybe even 4 and stuff like that, people wouldn't have minded, because there's always content to do and there's always content to make with it. I don't want to go into multiplayer and play 14 different new maps and 17 of them and stuff like that are all remakes and stuff like that. You know, Zombies has definitely been neglected this year, but when they have put out zombie content, it's definitely been better. And I think they've definitely moved on from the controversy at the beginning of the game where they nerfed like the ray gun and stuff like that for unknown reasons and stuff like that, why they did that. They've definitely moved on from that, and you know, Zombies will go, people are happy with it. You know, there's not much to ruin with Zombies and stuff like that. So I think whilst not being an overwhelming success, it has definitely been good for a lot of people, and I for one am glad that Zombies was obviously always going to be brought out, and it is the way it is and stuff like that, because it's allowed me to get a lot of content from it. So I thank Treyarch for that, and I can only hope that Vanguard is of the same quality, hopefully better. Hopefully they take what a lot of the community is saying about the game and the way it's played and stuff like that, and they make the changes for it and stuff like that. I would happily take a new map every 2 months and stuff like that. Keep the game fresh, introduce new guns, introduce new perks, everything like that. Do what you need to do with it. Just keep the zombies community coming back for more and stuff like that, because the more they come back, the more people will then want to play it, and then the more people you get playing your game and stuff like that. I know the main focus will probably be Warzone and everything, and I really hope it's not. Let's just hope they can do a lot for zombies as well. I'm going to leave it there and stuff like that. If you've gotten to the end of this very long video and stuff like that, I would appreciate if you hit the like button and subscribe down below if you are not. Leave a comment as well. What do you guys think of zombies and stuff like that? Has it been a success? Has it been a flop for you and stuff like that? Will you be playing Vanguard Zombies, you know, when it comes out as well? As always, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Peace.